Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, something is off? Not broken, not ruined, just off. Like you are moving forward, going through the motions, ticking the boxes, showing up every single day, but not really going anywhere. Like you are living someone else's life and doing a decent enough job of pretending it is yours. What if that feeling is not random? What if it is not a flaw in you? What if it is actually pointing to something deeper? Something a man named Franz Kafka understood a long time ago, before any of us were born, and buried inside a story so strange that most people miss the real meaning entirely. Let me describe something. See if any of this sounds familiar. You wake up. You have a routine, a job, maybe a decent one, people who depend on you, goals you have been told to want, and you pursue them, genuinely. But somewhere behind all of it, there is this quiet hum, a kind of restlessness you cannot quite name. You overthink in the shower. You lie awake at 2 a.m, not because anything is wrong exactly, but because something does not feel right. You feel disconnected, like you are watching your own life through glass, like you are performing a version of yourself that everyone around you finds perfectly acceptable, and that performance exhausts you in a way no amount of sleep seems to fix. You are doing what you are supposed to do, and it feels empty. That is not weakness. That is not ingratitude. That is one of the most human feelings that exists, and Franz Kafka wrote about it over 100 years ago, in the most unsettling way imaginable. In 1915, Kafka published a short story called The Metamorphosis. It opens with one of the most famous lines in all of literature. A traveling salesman named Gregor Samsa wakes up one morning and discovers he has transformed overnight into a giant insect. No explanation, no warning. He simply is one now. And what is remarkable, what is deeply strange, is that Gregor's first thought is not horror, it is logistics. How am I going to get to work? My boss is going to be furious. I cannot miss this train. Even as an insect, he is still trying to meet his obligations. Even in the most absurd, impossible moment of his existence, his first instinct is to perform, to be useful, to not let anyone down. But the world does not accommodate him anymore. His family, the people he has spent his entire life supporting, sacrificing for, showing up for, slowly stop seeing him as Gregor. He becomes a burden, an embarrassment, something to be managed, then hidden, then forgotten entirely. By the end of the story, he dies alone in his room, and his family, relieved, goes on with their lives. But here is what you need to understand. This story is not really about turning into an insect. Gregor Samsa did not lose his family because he became a bug. He lost them because he became something they could not use anymore. For his entire life, Gregor's value was transactional. He worked, he provided, he was reliable, invisible, dependable, a function, and as long as he kept functioning, everyone called it love. The insect is just Kafka's way of making that visible, of showing what was always true, that Gregor had never really been seen. He had only ever been needed. And when he could no longer be what everyone needed him to be, the whole structure collapsed around him like it had never been built on anything real in the first place. Now think about your own life for a moment. What if the feeling of being lost, that dull ache, that quiet disconnection, is actually the moment you start to stop fitting into the role you were given. What if something inside you is shifting, growing, changing, and the life built around the old version of you simply has not caught up yet? You have not transformed into an insect, but maybe you have outgrown the shell you have been living in. Here is what I believe is actually happening when you feel lost. For most of your life, you have been handed a script. Society handed you one. Your family handed you one. The school, the job market, the culture, all of it whispering the same message. This is who you are. This is what you do. This is what success looks like. Now perform it. And you did, because that is what people do. You learned the lines, you played the part, but somewhere along the way, quietly, almost imperceptibly, something inside you started asking questions the script did not have answers to. Is this it? Is this really what I want? Who am I when no one is watching? And that internal shift creates something very disorienting, because the outside world still expects the old version of you. Your routines expect it. Your relationships expect it. The identity you have spent years building expects it. So you exist in this strange in-between space, internally waking up, externally still going through motions that no longer feel like yours. The confusion, the isolation, the loss of identity. That is not a personal failing. It is like part of you is waking up while the rest of your life stays exactly the same. Kafka did not just write the Metamorphosis. He wrote about this feeling from every possible angle. In The Trial, a man named Joseph K. wakes up one morning and is arrested, but no one will tell him what he has been charged with. He spends the entire novel navigating an enormous, indifferent bureaucracy, seeking answers, seeking justice, finding only more corridors, more officials, more forms to fill out, more rules that seem designed not to protect him, but to exhaust him. Sound familiar? The job that asks everything of you but tells you nothing about why. The systems you navigate that seem designed to confuse. The pressure to be normal, to be productive, to be grateful, to be fine, while something in your chest quietly disagrees. We even have a word for it now. Kafka-esque. It means being trapped inside a system so irrational, so vast, so indifferent, that your individual humanity simply does not register. You are not a person inside these systems. You are a case number, a role, a function. And the moment you stop functioning the way you are expected to, the system has no idea what to do with you. Maybe you are not lost. Maybe the system just does not make sense anymore, and some part of you is finally honest enough to notice. I want to offer you a different way of seeing this. What if feeling lost is not a sign that something has gone wrong, but a sign that something is going right? What if it is a transition? The old identity breaking down, the old script no longer fitting, and the new one, the real one, not quite formed yet. That space between is uncomfortable. It is disorienting. It can feel like failure from the inside, even when nothing on the outside looks broken. But that feeling, that specific kind of lostness, is not the feeling of someone falling apart. It is the feeling of someone in the middle of becoming something. And that is not a small thing. You are not failing at life. You are outgrowing it. And that is, quietly, one of the most courageous things a person can do, even when it does not feel courageous at all. Even when it just feels like lying awake at 2 a.m, staring at the ceiling, wondering why everything looks fine, but nothing feels right. Gregor Samsa's tragedy was not that he changed. It is that no one around him understood what he was becoming. They saw a burden. They saw an inconvenience. They saw something that no longer served them. They could not see that beneath the strange new form, there was still a person, still a consciousness, still someone trying, in his own incomprehensible way, to belong, to be understood, to matter to the people he had given everything to. That is the real horror of Kafka's story, not the transformation, the misreading of it. So if you feel lost right now, adrift, unsure, quietly out of place in a life that looks fine from the outside, maybe the question you have been asking is the wrong one. Maybe the question is not, why do I feel lost? Maybe the question, the one worth sitting with, the one that changes everything once you start taking it seriously, is simply this: what am I becoming? And maybe, just maybe, the answer to that question is worth every single moment of the discomfort you are carrying right now.